how are you feeling today? So maybe I'll pass to Juanca. Do you want to start?
Hello everyone. I'm feeling good. I think I am optimistic on the gravity proposal on the gardens, and I think that since in 2 days the praise reward top up is going to pass, um, maybe more people is going to support this proposal so that we can go with all the things that we have been planning. And it hasn't been easy, but we are slowly working on the website, and I hope that we can have an minimal product in the following months. But yeah, I'm good besides that, and I will pass it to Griff.
I'm feeling great. Just came out of the Trusted CNM conference, so that was fun. And always excited to see the movement in the TEC. And yeah, that's it. I'll throw it over to let's go to Livia.
Thanks. Oh, I didn't see the unconference was happening now. It was not on my calendar. Sad. Yeah, I'm feeling good too. I had a singing class this morning with my friend, so it felt like good way to start the day. And yeah, I'll pass to Bear.
Thank you, Livy. Yes, I've been pretty good as well. Here where I am, it's really cold now. Last week we were like minus 25, I think. But this week it's a little better. We're like at 0 degrees, so you just have to wear shorts, and it's like summer again. So enjoying that part. And yeah, life's been good. I'll pass it to Maxwell.
Yeah, things are good. Not quite that cold here. I'm assuming that's Celsius. It gets around 0 at night here, but not too bad. No, doing good. New week, looking forward. I'm traveling next week, so getting all prepped for that and getting squared away for stuff. But yeah, all good here. Who has yet to go? Nate, pass it to Nate.
Thanks, Maxwell. Yeah, everything is good. Got to attend the last hour of the unconference. Man, it's early, but it was really cool. And yeah, my baby done bumped his head for the first time yesterday. Got his first little owie. So that was, it is what it is. So, but everything's good. Everything's good. Now I'll pass over to Durgadas.
He caught me in the kitchen, so I was nowhere near my computer. What are we doing? Just checking in.
Yeah, just how are you feeling?
Oh, yeah, it's starting to cool down here. Just settling in for the long dark, which is the Canadian winters. So it gets light about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it gets dark about 4:30 in the afternoon. so just hunkering down over here, really.
All right. For me, since we're focusing on weather, I actually, it makes a huge difference for me because I live in Seattle and it's beautiful. The last 3 days have just been beautiful. So I'm trying to get out. I mean, it just makes such a nice, makes the day so good. So, okay, well, hey, so what I thought we would do is start off with just like a quick kind of like, here's where we are in the process. And then we've got an exercise today that I think will be useful. So where we are in the process is that, last week I put together that proposal, or actually presented that proposal for this new team. And I think I was in a little bit too much of a rush to try to get this pushed through. And so Livy gave some really good feedback. And so what we're doing is we've opened it up to some forks for people who want to fork the proposal. They can go ahead and do so. We got one from Rex that I think I've incorporated most of the substance of into a fork that I did of my own proposal. So what we're looking at today is that fork proposal of mine. I know of at least one more fork that's coming from Livy, and we will. The plan is to hopefully review that on Thursday, on the Thursday call. So if there are other forks that are coming too, I know Nate is working on something, but we were talking about whether that's more like an implementation detail. But Nate, you also have to, like in the call today, see if there are places in this existing proposal that maybe need to create a little socket for the thing you're thinking about. I don't know. So so that's kind of where we are in the big picture. We're hoping to get this kind of all of the feedback done by this week, so that next week we can put this up to a vote. But we still have some conversations about what that process actually looks like, and hopefully we'll get into that a little bit today too. The process for today is we're gonna try to basically just break out into, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. I think what we should do, we've got these breakout rooms. That if you scroll down on the left in the working group voice category, you'll see breakout room 1, breakout room 2. I think let's just use 2 rooms. And this will allow us to have like some more focused conversation with just a smaller group of folks. And what we're going to do, and I'm going to ask Bear to like explain this process, but we're going to break out into groups and then review the document together and provide some feedback. So I will stop here unless there are any questions about just kind of the high level stuff. And then if not, then I'll turn it over to Bear and he can explain the process for today. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Go ahead, Bear.
Okay, yeah. Well, basically, it's another Figma board. I just shared the link in the chat here. If you guys wanna open it, should we first go into the breakout rooms now, or maybe? Well, maybe if you could maybe share screen now, Gideon, for me to like go over the exercise first and explain it, and then we can go into the breakout rooms. Yeah, if you have any trouble like accessing it, just let me know. But I think everyone should have like edit permissions. So basically what we did is just to divide the proposal document into 4 sections. The first one being the kind of like the first 3 paragraphs that talk about the background and why are we coming up with a new proposal, the purpose, the why of coming up with this proposal, and the basic functions that this team is going to cover. So basically, we have 4 different subsections, like what's working, what's not working, what's unclear, and what's missing. So the idea is just to go over each of these sections in the document, in the proposal, and just write down any ideas or any comments that you might have, either things that you feel need to still be included, or maybe the wording is not clear, or you get confused with some terminology or whatever, or even if things that you think are a good idea and that you want to highlight, might as well just like show them as things that are working. Then it's the same thing with the next section, talking about the budget, compensation, and the team process paragraphs. Everything is in order, so we can start like from the top of the document all the way to the bottom. Then the community contributions. How are we having and opening opportunities for permissionless contributions within the community. So I think that's an important topic as well. And the last one is just as like an extra section for adding any other important issues that you might find relevant in regards maybe with how this proposal will interact with the Stewart's proposal that it's also being worked on, or if any other people have new forms like Gideon mentioned before, you can also add that here. Also, I've heard that there are some conversations around what platform should we use for for making a decision about this proposal, either if it's that snapshot or token logs. So all that type of issues, they can go in this last section. And lastly, I also, last night, I found this interesting widget that I've never used. I don't know if you guys have, but this alignment scale that I just added into into each of one of these sections. I think it's kind of cool because maybe after you go through that specific paragraph and read it, you can just mark it's anonymous for now, at least to begin with, until I decide to show the results. But you can just kind of like give a sense of if you're agreeing to this overall idea of this section, or if you don't agree. So I think it's just an interesting way to get some more feedback and more signaling about how people are feeling with this. So yeah, that's basically the idea. Same for things for each of the section: what's working, what's not working, what's unclear, and what's missing. And yeah, we're gonna take about 7 to 8 minutes in each of the sections. I'll set the timer here in the Figma so everyone can take a look at it. And we should be good to go. I think a good idea that I was thinking is that maybe, I don't know if everyone here hopefully have read the proposal before, but if not, maybe once we're in the breakout rooms, we can just like go over it really quickly to get an idea, and then we can start the timer for the comments and notes. And yeah, I don't know if anyone has any question. Gideon, if you want to add any comments, something I missed.
Can you post the link to the fork proposal?
Yeah, it's here in the chat already, I think, in the Stewart's chat. But let me post it again. If not on the Figma board, if you click on the title, the link is there as well for the proposal, the TEC coordination team proposal. But let me just share it here.
I just shared it. It's in there now.
Okay, perfect.
So as far as breakouts, I'm just gonna go and give a number. And so I'll just start with what I see on the screen. So Livy, you're 1, Bear 2, Griff 1, Juanca 2, Maxwell 1, Nate 2. And so if you can just follow that number that you got into the breakout room 1 or breakout room 2. Bear or I will kind of like, we'll be doing a timer to kind of just keep us on track so that we can, we don't run out of time and we can cover the whole thing. So we'll just give it like a note in that breakout room. I'm not gonna join. I think I want just people to be able to comment without me there. But I will stay in this room if there are questions or anything, clarifications that people want to do as they're going through this. So we'll meet back probably about 10 minutes till, 10 or 15 minutes till, and then we'll reconvene at that point. Any questions before we go? Libby?
Yeah, are we supposed to be going through the Figma board in the breakout room? Or we're just discussing the proposal?
That's a good question. So what we were thinking is that the people in a breakout room would have the conversation and then they would just start to share notes. They could either do it as a group or you can just do it individually. But it's like the idea would be to have the conversation and then as you're having the conversation to just put stuff up on the board. Does that make sense? Okay. Any other questions? Okay, let's do it. Head on over and I'll stay in this room and everybody else can head into their rooms.
Wow, am I on time or late? No, I'm late.
Hey, you're
Oh.
hey, yeah, you're late, but people have broken out into these breakout rooms, like you can see like the red dot and blue dots.
Mm,
So yeah, basically people are okay. I'll just give you the kind of quick. Basically, there's the document that's in the text here. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it, but this is the updated, the forked coordination team. So there's that, and then there's this Figma board that people are working off of. So you can just jump into either the red or the blue team, and just join in on the fun.
whoa, okay. Well, Larry, let me see if I can get my head around this. I've been just call to call to call.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks. Are they joining back in this call, or we're just
They
gonna...
will be. They'll be coming back in here.
Oh, I see. I see the breakout rooms now. Okay,
Can you
cool.
see it? Yeah, it's just like the red one or the blue one.
All right.
Red pill.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Mhm. Hey, Mitch. While we're just hanging here, can you hear me?
Yep.
Um, can we set up a time next week to just talk about praise and maybe curation service? Because I'm actually showing Angela the curation service on Monday, and one of the things that keeps coming to me is like, I think if this works, we'll get a bunch of people volunteering time by contributing content and upvoting and things like that. And I think it could be a nice way to like engage a whole bunch of volunteers with praise. Um, so, and if Angela does end up getting interested in the curation service, she'll need to install the bot on their Discord. And I'm just wondering, like, I saw your technical requirements, but like, why not try to get them to install the praise bot? If Angela were to someday embrace TEC as their token.
Installing the praise bot so that it records praise into our praise database.
Well, it could be theirs, right? Maybe, but I'm just saying using the TEC token, but maybe it's like a separate database that's just there.
For them to record, well, like setting up praise in the TEA, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's pretty big. I think it's redundant. I think it's like, for a while we were just like praising the TEA in our Discord and giving them tokens, and then we were just straight up using our praise to dish praise to the TEA.
Yeah, no, I get it. But do you have time next week for like just a call on this?
Maybe. I don't fully understand the curation service, and I'm like, my brain is too full of different things. But if you can do it, whatever. But I mean, the praise is kind of being managed by General Magic now. So if you want to do any sort of installation or tomfoolery, you'll probably have to pay them to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, should I just talk to Christopher about it?
Yeah, like because Christopher will manage all the technical aspects of it.
Okay.
I understand it, but I can't change anything. I don't have that kind of juice.
Okay. Fair enough.
Mhm.
Hey, Rex. So people are doing breakouts right now, and doing feedback on the document. So you
Yeah.
can just jump in. They're just on the last question, so it's really just 2 minutes left. So it's probably not worth jumping in at this point.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just
Just hang out here.
I'm gonna be pretty busy both this Tuesday and Thursday. I just came in to have a feel of what's happening, but I'm guessing everybody's rallied towards your proposal, Gideon. And so
Well, there's a lot of feedback. There are a lot of questions. So yeah.
cool. I'll keep working async and moving things forwards when it comes to credential management. Struggling to find people
Yeah.
to get people to respond.
That's been my experience too. I will follow up on some of those things. I just can't do it. This has been kind of a crazy time, but
This is more important, so I can lead the other thing, and I'll leave the Discord completely as it is until we actually have some time to discuss it, potentially just after the proposal passes.
Okay.
And I'll just keep on doing everything credentials.
Are you gonna be at the sample call on Thursday?
Yes.
Talk about that then. Okay. I'll follow up. separately.
And last thing, I don't think multi-sigs are going to move their funds. Mitch, the thing you propose is a cyclical dependency, given what NT's asking, right? Because I can't.
Hey, Rex.
I'm all over the place, but yeah, we can talk another time.
Yeah, let's talk about it another time because I want to circle people back because we only have like 7 minutes left.
And I don't want to hear anything more about dependencies today. I just spent like an hour and a half trying to fix fucking Python shit.
Does it work at least now?
It doesn't work. There's something wrong with my computer because Nuggin does it. It works fine. I do it. It's like it's broken.
Do you wanna? Are you working? Like, can you just build a Docker container and just straight up?
Dude, you're out. You're out. Yeah. I don't have
Like,
Docker
can you-
installed. I don't know how Docker works. I'm like, it was working one week and then it stopped working. I don't know.
I can. So Docker's just basically like a cool virtual machine.
Mhm.
But I can help you with it if you have some time after. Cool.
Let's look at it. Yeah.
All right.
Don't look at it.
Would you look at that? Would you look at it? I think we're talking about the same thing. Oh, jeez.
Okay. Looks like everybody's back. So what I was thinking we could do is just like do some pretty quick round of like key takeaways. So we've got maybe just if you can do it like 30 seconds or so, 30, 40 seconds, that would be great. So I'll pass it to Maxwell. Let's start with you.
Oh wow, kicking it off. I think maybe the largest summary is that I think in general the idea of streamlining this group, making it smaller, has a lot of support. I think largely that document has gotten to a good place. I think the things that are missing still are around how do we engage the larger token engineering community. There's a lot of internal focus on this, which is necessary, but where does it go from them? How do we re-engage the larger community to get folks involved again? And how does that external focus look? And I think that's the piece that's missing or still unclear. I will pass it to Wonka.
Thanks. Well, I think that there are some things that are still a little bit unclear, and that sometimes when there are some like sensible topics, we tend to like not go straight in the grain, and sometimes that can like lead us to confusion. And I think for this, the clearer that we are is better. So I think like a little bit of the narrative for me was a little bit difficult to read the document. And also I am also I want to see more on the requirements of what is to participate in these groups. Like, yeah, what are the requirements? And I will pass it to Libby.
Thank you, Honka. I resonate a lot with what Maxwell said, and that's mostly what I'm working on my fork. I'll share later today on how can we integrate more the token engineering focus and out-facing nature to the proposal. And I think something about the team too, like how to decide on who is this team, what are some like metrics or expectations for success that we have. Griff shared that, and yeah, how to have more clarity on the choosing the team process. I'll pass to Mitch. Are you there, Mitch?
Yeah, but I just kind of walked in the room while you guys were having your breakout, so I don't really have anything to add. I'm here to listen to what all of you have to say. So if you want, I can maybe pass it to Nate.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. Yeah, so I kind of disagree with the internal external nature of this conversation. I think this is a strictly internal conversation that we're having of how we organize ourselves, and I think a large part of how we organize ourselves is based off of the compensation model that we decide to choose. It affects how we organize the Common Ops team, how we engage with the community of contributors, and how we internally have our workflow operations and process dictated. And so I think the compensation model is something that we really need to get into details about, and it will affect everything else. I think that is the crux of this conversation in this document, and I think that is really important to consider. So I will pass it over to Rex.
Sure, I'm almost in the same camp as Mitch. I only joined in the last couple of minutes. I agree with Nate on the nature of this document. I do think that it leaves that given that there are a couple of mentions on kind of how are we going to do the outward facing thing, it might make sense to have a plan to plan, at least, or a roadmap of sorts of how we plan to tackle it. But I disagree that it needs to be a crucial part of this document, just given the amount of time that we spent on it already, and that it's being a blocker on some other urgent matters that should go maybe alongside rather than just the single one. We should be working multi-threaded, and that's what we should aim to be, rather than staying in the process we're doing. Bear, have you gone yet?
Yeah, thank you, Rex. I know it's already time. I'm just gonna say that I completely agree with Rex. I think we should be able to tackle this conversation, but at the same time start working on other fronts. And yeah, not really much to say right now. I'll pass it back to Griff. I think he's missing.
Yeah, I feel like this is a funding request, and it's like there were some things unclear around like who's actually on the team. I mean, I think it's the right direction, but I do think that saying like what the mission and of this small team who's going to take over these operational goals, the operations of the TEC is important, and it'd be weird like to put this in front of someone external like Michael Zargum or any of the larger TEC token holders and be like, here, fund the new operational strategy for the TEC, and then it's like, well, what is the operation? What is the strategy? Who's on the team? And like, what does success look like? What are the metrics? What are we going to gauge success with? I mean, I think the end is to actually put a proposal up on Snapshot or somewhere and say, this is what we're doing, and this is how much it'll cost, and this is what success looks like. I mean, I feel like those, I get that we're also trying to make the operational strategy of the TEC, and I think that is tight. What's missing is, hey, if you're going to actually put this out as a proposal, like, what are you trying to achieve? And I'll pass it back to you, Gideon.
Okay, I think that's it. That's everybody. So, okay, this is all good feedback. We'll process it. The next steps are, I think, hopefully, I think Libby's going to get her fork. We should have that by tomorrow, so people can read that. We'll review that on Thursday. Depending on how different it is, we'll either use the whole time for that fork, or we'll, if it's not that different, then we'll figure out how to like sync that with this, and we'll come up with an exercise for doing that. We are out of time, so sorry for going a little bit over, but obviously there's a lot to discuss here. Thanks everybody for diving in, and really appreciate it. See you all on Thursday.
Thanks, Gideon.
Thanks, Bear.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.